My dear Mr. Pip, Mr. Gargery is going to London and would be glad if you are agreeable to be allowed to see you. He will call Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. We talk of you in the kitchen every night and wonder what you are saying and doing. No more, dear Mr. Pip, from your ever obliged and affectionate servant, Biddy.
As I watched Joe that Tuesday morning, dressed grotesquely in a new suit, let me confess that if I could have kept him away by paying money, I certainly would have paid money. In trying to become a gentleman, I had succeeded in becoming a snob.
Joe. How are you, Joe?
Pip. How are you, Pip?
Come in, Joe. Well, Joe, I am glad to see you.
Pip, dear old chap, you've growed and you've swelled, and you gentlefolk has to be sure you're an honour to your king and country.
And you, Joe, look wonderfully well. Give me your hat. Oh, Herbert, this is Mr. Joe Gargery. Joe, Mr. Herbert Pocket.
How do you do, Mr. Gargery?
Your servant, sir.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you kindly, sir.
Will you take tea or coffee, Mr. Gargery?
Oh, thank you kindly, sir. I'll take whichever is most agreeable to yourself.
What do you say to coffee?
Thank you kindly, sir. Since you are so good as to make choice of coffee, I'll not run contrary to your opinions. But don't you find that rather heating?
Say tea, then. Pip, if Mr. Gargery will excuse me, I will go down to the porter's lodge to fetch the morning's letters.
Thank you kindly, sir. Us two being now alone, sir.
Joe, how can you call me sir?
Us two being now alone, Pip, I will mention what have led to me having the present honour. Miss Havisham have recently sent for me.
Miss Havisham, Joe?
Would you tell Mr. Pip, she said, that I wish to see him at once, for I have something most particular to disclose to him.
I see.
Well, I have now concluded, sir, and Pip, I wish you ever well and ever prospering to a greater and greater height.
But you're not going now, Joe.
Yes, I am.
Well, you'll be coming back to dinner.
Oh, no, Pip, old chap. You and me is not two figures to be together in London. I'm wrong in these clothes, Pip. I'm wrong out of the forge and out of the kitchen off the marshes.
But, Joe...
You won't find half so much fault with me if you think of me as Joe the blacksmith. And so, God bless you, dear old Pip, old chap. God bless you.
All that day, Joe's simple dignity filled me with reproach. And next morning I began the journey to our town, knowing that I should sleep that night at the forge. But as the miles went by, I became less convinced of this, and invented reasons and excuses for not doing so.
Joe, Pip's here.
Oh, we didn't expect you, Pip.
Pip, your bed's not ready.
We thought for certain you'd be staying in the town.
You must stay in the town.
Gentlemen, always stay at the Blue Boar.
Blue Boar, Rochester.
All other swindlers upon earth are nothing to the self-swindlers, and with such pretenses did I cheat myself. Surely a curious thing.
Come in, Pip. How do you do?
How do you do, Miss Havisham?
You kiss my hand as if I were a queen. Well?
I thought that you were so kind as to wish to see me, Miss Havisham.
Well?
Stella.
Well, Pip?
Stella, this is an unexpected pleasure. I didn't think to find you here.
You two must have a lot to say to each other. Go out into the garden, both of you, and walk and talk together.
I must have been a strange little creature to hide and watch you fight that day. But I did, and I enjoyed it very much.
You rewarded me very much.
Did I?
Don't you remember?
I remember I entertained a great objection to your opponent. I took it ill that he should be brought here to pester me with his company.
He and I are great friends now.
Are you? I imagine that since your change of fortune, you have naturally changed your companions.
Oh, yes, naturally. Do you remember the first time I came here? The time you made me cry?
Did I? I don't remember.
Not remember you made me cry?
You meant nothing to me. Why should I remember? You must know, Pip, I have no heart. Perhaps that's why I have no memory.
No one looking at you could believe that.
Oh, I have a heart to be stabbed at or shot at, but you know what I mean. There's no sympathy there, no softness, no sentiment. If we're to be thrown much together, you had better believe that at once.
I can't believe it, Estella.
Very well. It's said at any rate. But remember how I've been brought up, and don't expect too much of me. Come, Pip. You shall not shed tears for my cruelty today. We'll go just once more round the garden and then go in. Miss Havisham will be expecting you at your old post.
Is she beautiful? Graceful, well-grown? Do you admire her, Pip?
Everyone must who sees her, Miss Havisham.
She is going to London soon, and you shall meet her there.
I shall be the happiest man in London, Miss Havisham.
Love her. If she favors you, love her. If she tears your heart to pieces, love her. I adopted her to be loved. I developed her into... as punctual as ever, Jaggers.
As punctual as ever. How do you do, Pip? And what are you doing here?
Miss Havisham wished me to see Estella, Mr. Jaggers.
Ah, a fine young lady. Shall I give you a ride, Miss Havisham? Once round. A very fine young lady, Pip.
Estella.
Pip!
How nice to see you, Estella.
My lesson from Miss Havisham is this. There are two Richmonds, one in Surrey and one in Yorkshire. Mine is the Surrey Richmond. The distance is 10 miles. I am to have a carriage and you're to take me there. Here is my purse.
No.
No, you must take it. We are not free to follow our own devices, you and I.
The carriage is ordered for half an hour from now, and tea is ordered to while away that half hour. Does that please milady?
The tea will please her greatly.
Why are you going to Richmond, Estella?
I'm going to live, at a great expense, with a lady there who has the power, or says she has, of taking me about and introducing me and showing people to me and showing me to people.
You'll have a gay time and be much admired. You must look forward to that, Estella.
It's part of Miss Havisham's plan for me, Pip. I shan't take any great pleasure in events which I don't shape, but I shall be beautiful, and I shall be gay, I shall be obedient, and I shall write regularly of my gaiety.
Will you always be part of Miss Havisham's plan, Estella?
And do you thrive with Mr. Pocket, Pip?
Yes, indeed. We've left Barnard's Inn and moved to the Temple.
Oh?
I live quite pleasantly there. At least...
At least?
As pleasantly as I could anywhere. Away from you.
All through that summer, I saw a great deal of Estella, and I was very happy, until I realized, somewhat uncomfortably, that she had many admirers. It was not until the winter that fate threw her in the way of Bentley Drummle. Tired, Estella?
Rather, Pip.
You should be.
Say rather I should not be. For I still have my letter to Miss Havisham to write before I go to bed.
Recounting tonight's triumph? Surely a very poor one, Estella.
I don't know what you mean. I didn't know there'd been any.
My lords, ladies, and gentlemen.
This is our dance, Estella.
Pray take your places for the next dance.
Estella, look at Drummle. He never takes his eyes off you.
Why should I look at him? Is there anything in Drummle I need to look at?
That's what I want to ask you. He's been hovering about you for weeks.
Moths and all sorts of ugly creatures hover about a lighted candle. Can the candle help it?
My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, pray take your partners for the Spanish polka.
Everybody dislikes him, you must know that. There's nothing to recommend him but money and a ridiculous row of addle-headed ancestors. It makes me wretched to see you encourage him.
Does it?
You give him looks and smiles such as you never give to me.
Do you want me then to deceive and entrap you?
Do you deceive and entrap him, Estella?
Yes, and many others. All of them but you.